Hey guys, Desolate Magic here, and the official Wilds of Eldraine spoilers are starting. And some more leaks, which I'm going to throw in. If you missed my video where I talked about it, I still think it's a marketing stunt. So first up, we got Regal Bunnycorn. He do be regalin'. It's a 2-cost white creature rabbit unicorn. Star, this should be interesting. Its power and toughness are each equal to the number of non-land permanents you control. That is singularly, outrageously, stupidly overpowered. Currently in the meta, you can clone it, and this isn't legendary. I can't even believe they did this. Just look, this is the first card. Well, there's your $50 new commander staple there. Oh my gosh. Next up, we got Agatha's Soul Cauldron. It's a 2-cost legendary artifact. Hey, they do put it, because it's a proper name on it. That's their only determining factor at this point, not power level. Oh boy, okay, so you can only have one, but 2-cost colorless. You may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to activate abilities of creatures you control. Then why are they in your deck? Creatures you control with +1/+1 counters on them have all activated abilities of all creature cards exiled with Agatha's Soul Cauldron. Did I say Agatha? Anyway, if you tap it, exile target card from a graveyard. When a creature card is exiled this way, I can read, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. This is unusual, for sure. It might be a little too slow build up for standard right now, but thankfully nobody's playing that, so it doesn't matter. I don't know, I feel like it'll do something, but I can't pin it, so it probably won't. Next up we got Rowan, Scion of War. Haha, she went black. She used to be mono red, and now she joined the dark side. Because WotC's a bunch of lefty Satanists, I mean, obviously. So, 3-cost black-red 4/2 legendary creature, human wizard with menace. And of course, because she's a strong, independent human who don't need no man, this inspiration to Wamixin everywhere has a flavor text that says, "No more days withering at a negotiating table with my brother. I will rebuild Eldraine myself the old way with power." You know, women and testosterone and... They've lost their damn minds. Can't wait for the next election. Hope it happens. So anyway, it has menace, and tap and spells you cast this turn that are black and or red cost X less to cast, where X is the amount of life you lost this turn. Activate only as a sorcery. I guess it works on either turn, but if she has 4 attack for 3 CMC and menace, you probably want to swing with her. I mean, this could get nuts. Like, this could get absolutely bonkers. But only for instants and not for sorceries. So I feel like that kicks it out of standard, but I don't know. That's probably the point. And here's Will, Scion of Peace, because, you know those male rulers and their testosterone makes them want to be peaceful and negotiate. You ever wonder if the Y chromosome stands for why the hell don't lefties get it? Whatever. So 2/4, because obviously he's weaker than the average female. That's, duh. I mean, this is a fantasy set. Which makes sense, because that's a fantasy. Although, I'll be honest, I might take up women's powerlifting. I feel like I could kind of dominate. I'm 36 and I got a bad back, but, I could beat some of them. So anyway, 2/4 with Vigilance. Tap and spells you cast this turn that are white and or blue cost X less to cast, where X is the amount of life you gained this turn. That is arguably a more powerful card. Activate only as a sorcery. Oh, wait, did the last one say that? Oh, crap, it did. Okay, take back everything I said there. If you can't do it off turn, how the hell did you lose life on your own turn? It's not impossible, but, in standard, it's pretty damn narrow, and you wouldn't, start poking yourself just for this stupid card to get a discount on one spell one time. Well, moving on from the Bizarro World Backwards twins, who are probably both trans, which would actually make it make sense, we've got the Goose Mother. Everybody been waiting for this one, so, I guess Mother Goose might have been... copyrighted or something? Trademarked? So it's the Goose Mother. So it's 1 blue, 1 green, and X. My god, if this is Hydroid Crisis, I will just end it right now. This video's over. Oh no, it's a legendary creature bird. Hydra, just kill me. I don't even remember what Hydroid did. Didn't it, draw cards or something? 2/2 flying. It enters the battlefield with X/1/1 counters on it. Okay, that's a given. Then the Goose Mother enters the battlefield. Oh my god. Create half X food tokens rounded up. Okay, that's powerful, but that's reasonable. Whenever the Goose Mother attacks, you may sacrifice a food if you do draw a card. Because, nom nom. That's like actually reasonable. Like this is just like a solid, interesting utility card. Maybe in a food mechanic deck, I could see it. Next up, Greta Sweet Tooth Scourge. Probably a good time to mention that I'm only covering rares and mythics just for time because they're dumping these on as like turbo quick. But I wanted to throw this one in because one, Sweet Tooth sounded like something. Like, is that like a gang or is that the villain or is I don't know what's going on. I don't know if this is gonna help, but whatever. But also they're doing legendaries in the uncommon slot again. Hey, it's almost like it's a commander set. So 3 cost green black 3/3 legendary creature human warrior. And when Greta Sweet Tooth Scourge enters the battlefield, create a food token, of course. If you pay 1 green, sack a food, put a 1/1 counter on target creature, activate only as a sorcery because his ambush that would be overpowered. Then if you pay 2, with one of them being a black, sacrifice a food, you draw a card and lose a life. Lose a life as a trade-off is a thing in this set, but with Red Rush, it's going to be dead on arrival. Nobody's going to play it. But also, like I said, nobody plays Standard anyway, so who cares? It'll be kind of bold in a draft. Next up, we got Ruby Daring Tracker, the Mary Sue of the set, apparently. Oh, pardon me. One of the Mary Sue Wamixin. It's a little blurry, but she also might be Latinx. If you're wondering what language I'm speaking, and if I'm having a stroke, so am I every time I hear a CNN did anything. So, Christmas colors, 1/2, legendary creature, human scout with haste, and whenever she attacks, while you control a creature with power 4 or greater, Ruby gets +2/+2 till end of turn, and if you tap her, you can generate 1 mana in her colors. That's actually a lot weaker than I thought she would be, but it's still good. I mean, it's a good card. But yeah, I mean, remember Uncommon Planeswalkers? They were just enchantments that you could attack. Yeah, don't hold out hope for a hyper-powered legendary uncommon. I think they're just for draft. So next up we got Farsight Ritual. It's a 4-cost quad blue instant with bargain. Sack an artifact, enchantment, or token. So in other words, yes. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. If the spell was bargained, look at the top 8 cards of your library instead. Put 2 of them into your hand, and the rest on the bottom of the library in a random order. The only thing keeping this from being another treasure cruise is the fact that it costs 4. Oh, and Dig Through Time and all that other broken, formerly banned stuff like Brainstorm Ponder. It's all just deck shrinking glass cannon enablers, and nobody likes glass cannon decks except for the idiots playing them, quite frankly. So, next up we got Blossoming Tortoise. It's mythic. It's a 4-cost double green creature turtle. I think they're pushing mono in this set, which is actually kind of refreshing. I like that. 3/3. And whenever it enters the battlefield or attacks, mill 3 cards, then return a land card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Doesn't have to be in the 3, just has to be there. Remember, you can loop in Evolving Wilds. Activated abilities of lands you control cost 1 less to activate. Oh, because remember there's man lands in this set. Ugh, that's awful. Every time they bring those around, it ruins the game. Land creatures you control get +1/+1. Great. I'm hoping, like all land and then hyper control is not a thing, because that was quite possibly the most annoying deck I've seen lately. And by lately, I mean like the last 8 years. It was a while ago, but I still remember it. It was that bad. It was literally man lands and 5 color control. Board wipe, counterspell, removal. And like a little bit of draw if they had somewhere to be. If they didn't want to hit the round timer, if you know what I mean. Next up, Restless Cottage. I knew they would do it. This is a Baba Yaga reference, or whoever that is. So it's a land. I think we might have already seen this. I might be double covering some of these, but whatever. Enters tapped. You pay 4. It becomes a thing. Taps for 2 colors. We all know it. Becomes a 4/4 black and green horror creature until the end of turn. It's still a land, which means it can't be targeted by stuff that says non-land permanent, which is really annoying. And when it attacks, create a food token and exile up to 1 target card from a graveyard. Why are they focusing on so much graveyard stripping? It's like purely defensive, too. That worries me. That means a graveyard mechanic is coming. Next up, we got the Huntsman's Redemption. So it's a saga. Chapter 1 is create a 3/3 green beast creature token. Chapter 2 is you may sacrifice a creature. If you do, search your library for a creature or basic land card, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle. And 3, up to 2 target creatures, each get +2/+2 and gain trample till end of turn, which can actually inherently be lethal. So that looks like Garruk, and he's on some kind of statue, headstone, relic, altar, I don't know, with, who would that be? It looks like they're wearing the chain veil, but they look like they got elf ears, but Nissa is like elsewhere, I think. This is very interesting. So the first 2 chapters are kind of crap, but like this is a rare and it's 3, so I think people will play this. Next up, Virtue of Knowledge, a mythic adventure card, I believe they're called. These are hybrid or dual, or who knows at this point. So if you cast it normal, you get an enchantment. If a permanent entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time because they didn't learn anything from Panharmonicon apparently, although this is 5 cost blue. But then Ventress Visions, instant speed adventure. They're not all instant speed. Copy target activated or triggered ability you control. I love that ability. You may choose new targets for the copy. Okay, they got the discount and then the payoff versions. You know, I kind of like that, like Overload and Strive and Kicker and Multi-Kicker and all that. And Monstrous and, okay, you get it. Like, pay more, get more. It keeps you from drawing dead late game and it really helps, like, level out drafts and stuff. I don't think anybody's drafting a Mythic commonly, but, well, all the pros are adding cards to their pool anyway, so who cares? Next up, we got Sire Ginger, the Mealender. You might say it's Sir, but first of all, that looks like a chick, and secondly, no, they did not spell it that way. So it's a 2-cost, 3/1 legendary artifact creature food knight. That is all of the things. Sire Ginger, the Mealender, has trample, hexproof, and haste as long as an opponent controls a planeswalker. Oh, ho's mad. Lot of Planeswalker racism in the game right now after they blame Planeswalkers for everything, which, I mean, they're not wrong. I was going to make a counterpoint, but yeah, Planeswalkers are awful. So whenever another artifact you control is put in a graveyard, which tokens do technically go to the graveyard briefly, just saying, so food tokens, from the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on Sir Ginger and scry 1. That is stupid powerful. Then if you pay 2 and tap it, sack it, you gain life equal to its power, because, you know, nom nom food. So that is one angry cookie. Next up we got Fonzbane Troll. It's a 4-cost green black 4/4 creature troll. And when it enters the battlefield, create a monster roll. Ooh, okay. That's enchanted creature gets +1/+1 as trample. And attach it to it. So you can't put it anywhere else. So this is basically a 5/5 with trample. Then if you pay 1, sacrifice an aura attached to it. I wonder what that might be. And then it fights target creature you don't control. This is very powerful, but it's dual color. If that creature would die this turn, exile instead, activate only as a sorcery. That is just like all of the things. This is just an absolute brute. Speaking of absolute brutes, the exact opposite. Kellen, the Fey-Blooded. Told you it was him. Also, they already spoiled, like, long ago that it's the evil fairy queen, whatever the hell, I don't know, like half sun or something like that. I don't remember. So anyway, if you pay 3 red, you get a legendary creature, human fairy. That makes sense. He's pretty flaming. And 2/2 double strike. That might actually go on my deck. Other creatures you control get +1/+0 for each aura and equipment attached to Kellen the Fey-Blooded. And Birthright Boon, you got to pay 1 white in there, sorcery speed only. But search your library for an aura or equipment card, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle. Okay, this isn't actually as good as the 1/1 double striker for 2 in my Candy Cane deck, but I might throw one in just for lulz. And then like 1 hyperpowered aura or equipment. Next up, we got Hilda of the Icy Crown. They probably meant to say Hilda, but they spelled it Hilda. So I don't know what's going on with that 3/4 the size of an average mammoth, but looks like the digital copy to me. Why'd they spoil a digital copy? Whatever. Blue-white, 4-cost, legendary creature, human warlock. Whenever you tap an untapped creature an opponent controls, you may pay 1. When you do, I think they mean if you do, calm down, that's presumptuous. Create a 4/4 white and blue elemental creature token. Holy crap. Put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. Holy crap. Or scry 2 then draw a card to go get more control crap. Okay, she is pure toxic evil. And you can tell that she's the bad guy in the story because she's white. And because Waffles of the Toast no likey the whiteys. This is just going to be a tap-down oppression bullshit deck, and it's going to get absolutely shredded by Red Rush, so what's the point? I hate it. Next up, Elvish Archivist, because we needed more Elf Ball in my life, apparently. It's a 2-cost rare green 0/1 creature Elf Artificer. This should be good. Whenever one or more artifacts enter the battlefield under your control, put 2 1/1 counters on Elvish Archivist. This ability triggers only once each turn. Whenever 1 or more enchantments enter the battlefield under your control, draw a card. Oh my gosh, these card draw engines in the set are disgusting. This ability triggers only once each turn. This set is going to single-handedly turn everything into a control-a-thon. Next up, Agatha of the Vile Cauldron. Hey, I remember her cauldron. So, Gigantic Gargantuan 1/1. 2-cost Christmas Colors, legendary creature, human warlock, and activated abilities of creatures you control cost X less to activate, where X is Agatha of the Vile Cauldron's power. This effect can't reduce the mana in that cost to less than 1 mana. Well, good, they pumped the brakes a little on that. This is insane. If you pay 6 other creatures you control, get +1/+1 gain travel to, and haste until end of turn. Great, fantastic. Then we've got Ariete. Let's call her Eric, I don't know. Of the Charmed Apple. So 2, 4, and 3 cost white, black, legendary creature, human warlock, and each creature that's enchanted by an aura you control can't attack you or planeswalkers you control. Well, yeah, you probably pinned them down. Maybe you could put a roll on them, but I thought they all said you're like a creature you control. I don't know. At the beginning of your end step, each opponent loses X life and you gain X life, where X is the number of auras you control. Another pin down aura control promoter / enabler. Wonderful, that's what we needed. I don't know how realistic white-black aura control will be, but mono white aura and win with enchantments is actually like pretty good right now. So if they want to splash black for her, they would do some damage, that's for darn sure. Getting into leaks, we got Archon of the Wild Rose. It's a 4-cost white creature, Archon, 4/4 with flying. Other creatures you control that are enchanted by auras, you control. Okay, you have base and power toughness 4/4 and have flying. Okay, now that's a deck. I don't know what you'd be strapping to your own, but I mean, if you want to do 50-50 or something. Next up, we got Virtue of Loyalty. It's a, 5-cost mythic white enchantment. Okay. Ardenvale something. Field, I don't know. Doesn't matter. Instant speed adventure, create a 2/2 white knight creature token with vigilance. Okay. Otherwise, if you actually cast it, at the beginning of your end step, put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. Untap those creatures. In other words, win the game. Well, that's annoying and overpowered. At least it costs 5. Next up, Ingenious Prodigy. Isn't that just the villain from Power Rangers? So it's blue +X 0/1 human wizard with Skulk. Really? This creature can't be blocked. Everybody's sick of that effect, my god. By creatures with greater power. Great. Ingenious Prodigy enters the battlefield with X/1/1 counters on it at the beginning of your upkeep. If Ingenious Prodigy has 1 or more 1/1 counters on it, you may remove one. If you do, draw a card. That is so stupidly overpowered, I can't even believe they would dare to do this. Next up, Spectre of Mortality, 5-cost black 3/3, creature Spectre with flying. And when it enters the battlefield, you may exile 1 or more creature cards from your graveyard. When you do, each creature gets -X till end of turn, where X is the number of cards exiled this way. So blow up your entire line and yourself. Never understood why anybody would play these, but I guess I don't have to, because nobody ever does, because they're awful. Next up, Rotisserie Elemental, nom nom. It's a 1-cost red rare 1/1 creature elemental with menace, and it deals combat, or whenever it deals combat damage to a player, put a skewer counter on it, then you may sacrifice it. If you do, exile the top X cards of your library, where X is the number of skewer counters on it. You may play those cards this turn. That's just kind of neat, a little build-up thing. It's a little annoying, but I've seen more egregious red cards. Next up, Bramble Familiario. It's 2-cost green 2/2 elemental raccoon, because of course it is. If you cast it as a creature, you can tap it and add 1 green to your mana pool. If you pay 2 and tap it, discard a card, return it to its owner's hand. Ooh, safe little teleport out. But this time the sorcery speed adventure is higher. It's fetch quest, and it's 7. Mill 7 cards and put a creature, enchantment, or land card from among the milled cards onto the battlefield. Hey, if you got it, do it. And then remember, late game you can pay 2, return to hand, and then cast them that way. It's a little roundabout, but it's neat. Next up, Likeness Looter. Oh god, that's Oko, isn't it? Just kill me. So it's 1 black, 1 blue, aka the Troll colors. It's a 1/1 creature fairy shapeshifter with flying. And if you tap it, draw a card, then discard a card. And if you pay X, Likeness Looter becomes a copy of target creature card in your graveyard with mana value X, except it has flying and this ability. Activate only as a sorcery. It's a little narrow while still managing to be annoying, so in other words, a really bad card all around. Next up, Yenna Red Tooth Regent. It's a 4-cost green-white 4/4 legendary creature elf noble. If you pay 2 and tap it, choose target enchantment you control that doesn't have the same name as another permanent you control. Create a token that's a copy of it. A lot of cloning in this set. Except it isn't legendary. If the token is an aura, untap Yenna Redtooth Regent, then scry 2. Activate only as a sorcery. So pretty good, but it's a 4 cost. I mean, when you're going to leave standard open for 3 years, a 4 cost is borderline unplayable unless it is the most powerful thing ever. So a lot of this stuff has just like completely undercut itself by just being in a 3-year format. I mean, there's no other way to say it. That's just how math works. If you can't even get to 4 and the game's effectively over when your opponent's dropping 2 drops, you're not even going to put it in your deck. And if you do, you're going to lose. So they really, really back themselves into the corner with this crap trying to keep Arena alive for another year. Because if there was a rotation, everyone on Arena would have quit. Unfortunately, due to the recent decisions, everybody on Arena quit. Oops. So, next up we got Devouring Sugar Ma, aka Doom Donut. It's a 4-cost black creature horror. If you cast it that way, it has Menace and Trample 6/6 Hello. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may sacrifice an artifact, enchantment, or token. If you don't, then tap it. You must feed the beast. Then Have for Dinner, you pay 1 plus a white, instant speed adventure. Create a 1/1 white human creature token and a food token. That's odd, but yeah, we didn't need another stupid 6/4 boxer. That's basically what this is. Next up, Elusive Otta. Did I just draft this online? Is this a reprint? Whatever, so it's a 1 cost, 1/1 otter. Oh, not with adventure, it isn't. Okay. It has prowess because it just needed more toxic crap in this set. Creature with a power less than Elusive Otters. Power, can't block it. Great. Grows Bounty. Oh god. Green plus X, sorcery speed adventure. Distribute X 1/1 counters among any number of creatures you control. So you can annoy the crap out of people or just cast that late game and win the game. Kinda OP. Next up, Twinning Twins. Okay. 4 cost, blue fairy wizard, 4/4 flying vigilance and ward 1. Okay, but if you cast it for 2, well, with one of them being white, you get Swift Spiral, instant speed adventure, exile target non-token creature, return to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. Oh, good, flickering. Flickering with boosted ETB. That's what we needed. Yep. So this is a 2-cost white counterspell until it's an obnoxious, underpowered fairy, which is 1 mana more annoying to blow out of the sky. This card's awful. And thank God that's the end of it, because I got better stuff to do than to cover this train wreck of a set. I was a little excited when I saw it. It looked lower powered and more appropriate, but then they showed me more of it. It's kind of like how every lefty seems nice until you get to know them. Then you figure out that they're completely bonkers and a terrible person. Yeah, it's basically a politics channel at this point, but, eat me. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you guys next time.